I think Singapore does better than some of other countries, but needs some improvement.
It's almost towards handicap-friendly society. Yeah, I mean with the walk bus now, the wheelchair accessible bus. Yeah, and the MRT now is also accessible to us.
Some housing estate is still not fully, although there's some renovation done, but it's still not.
Guide dogs should be allowed in restaurants and shops. And their main purpose is to guide the blind.
Guide dogs should not be allowed in shops and shopping centres because I think there are still many people who are frightened of dogs.
All of us sympathize with the handicapped, but how many of us are willing to share our public spaces with them? Hi, I'm Cheryl Fox. Welcome to On the Red Dot. Today we turn the spotlight on the visually handicapped and the discrimination that they face when they're using guide dogs to help them get around.
And then steps down.
At a shopping mall in Marine Parade, mobility instructor Aaron is putting Alvin and his dog Suretta through their paces.
To the steps. Stop. Good girl.
Alvin is blind, and Suretta is no ordinary canine.
Straight to the door. Good girl.
She's a guide dog, specially bred and hand-picked for a mild temperament.
The difference between a guide dog and a pet dog is basically the guide dog has been given a certain amount of tasks to perform for a visually impaired person to be able to guide them safely through the environment. None of our dogs are trained to attack anybody. No, they're purely used for guiding individuals and they're always chosen for their temperament to be socially acceptable. Whatever the situation, they're fully tested out. There should be room for her under the table there.
Suretta also received 15 months of intensive training in Melbourne, part of it with a handler, Alvin. The pair returned to Singapore a couple of weeks ago. And today is their final day with the Australian trainer, Aaron.
Past the open space until we get to the exit.
I feel liberated. Now I'm able to walk on my own without any help and in a faster speed. I feel happy to have a guide dog as a mobility aid. At the same time, I see a lot of challenges ahead.
Cassandra knows all about those challenges. Her guide dog Esme was also trained in Australia and has been in Singapore for a year now. Unfortunately, not many Singaporeans understand that guide dogs are legally permitted in all public spaces, including buses, trains, shops, and all restaurants.
Well, I think the biggest challenge in it's the difficulty getting anywhere.
Shopping areas and
I mean, not that there wasn't legislation in place, but people on the ground just wasn't aware. I was getting a heart attack every day because there were people screaming all the time.
One of the main problems is access. And that's a problem also that's preventing a lot of blind people from wanting a guide dog at this time. I'll give you an example. Our office is located at International Plaza. And, the management of Interplaza has so far refused our request to allow guide dogs into that building.
Come on, Izzy.
We decided to put that to a test on Thursday afternoon. It turns out that the pair wasn't stopped from getting up to the offices of the Guide Dog Association. But trouble started the minute that Cassandra decided to sit down at a cafe for a cup of coffee.
Well, this is not a pet dog, I'm blind and this is a guide dog. Government allows guide dogs in public places.
I'm really sorry, we can't allow this one because
Why?
the Hala is coming.
Why?
Yeah.
Because Hala and Muis also allows guide dogs.
Actually, the company is not allowed pets.
Okay.
After much explanation, Cassandra was eventually allowed to have a coffee with Esme inside. According to the National Environment Agency, food establishments have the discretion to allow guide dogs on their premises. But it seems that the public is still divided over the issue.
Got it? Right. Essie, right.
Guide dog may have maybe be, let's say, unclean, then for all you know, it could actually accidentally spread some bacteria into the restaurant.
I feel that it's okay so long as the owners know how to take care of their pets.
Guide dog should be allowed in shops, but restaurants, I think they should be kept outside the door.
As a Muslim, I don't think so. It's
appropriate to put a dog inside a restaurant.
Yet, according to Singapore's top Islamic authority, MUIS, not only is it all right for blind Muslims to use guide dogs, halal restaurants can also allow guide dogs inside their premises.
The guide dog is trained for about 18 to 20 months non-stop. So that's a pretty long time, and they're taught many things. The major difference to the public would be a pet dog might be capable of aggression or messing up somebody's place, but with a guide dog, that's not possible that will happen.
Still, even in officially guide dog-friendly premises, Cassandra faces obstacles. A recent visit to a clothing store with a guide dog turned ugly when she was harassed at least twice before finally given the permission to stay.
Unfortunately, two of my part-timers stopped her, mistaking the dog for a pet rather than a guide dog.
Nice and steady, there's people ahead of you. Step out and up. Double-decker bus, this one.
So how can you tell the difference between a guide dog and a normal pet?
You can differentiate a guide dog from a pet dog is through this harness. This harness, working harness. As soon as this harness is put on the guide dog, she knows that she's on duty.
The big thing is not to feed a guide dog, not to distract a dog with food. Obviously, we use Labrador retrievers, and they think with their stomachs, these animals. Keep her going nice and straight. Don't let her drift to the left. Just keep people who think that it's good to feed dogs and they will get a bond with them. That's not true. It actually teaches the dog to scavenge and look for food whilst it's working for the visually impaired person.
I was crossing a street and there was this nice, friendly guy that gave Esme a pat on her butt and called out her name. So she turned back and looked at him. So under those circumstances, it could put me in danger if, because of that turn, we veered into the road with oncoming traffic. Come on, Izzy, find a station. Find it.
Despite the issues of access and awareness, for Cassandra and Alvin, having a guide dog is key to leading a normal life.
My wish is that people with a disability will be able to share this common space, regardless of our choice of mobility, allow us to lead a dignified and independent and confident life. Find the door, Izzy. Over the past year, I've been able to move around a lot faster with a lot more confidence and safer as well. Before Esme, when I constantly tripped over stairs or walked into stuff. So the safety aspect has improved 100%, I would say. And most importantly is the confidence. I can move at a pace which I dictate that I want to go at and not limited by my inability to see where I'm going and my fear that I might trip over something or walk into somebody.